Welcome, weary travelers. Gather around the hearth, warm your bones, and let me tell you a tale. A tale of heroes, brought together by fate, united by purpose, and made legend by courage. This tale takes place on the great world of Toril, on the continent of Faerun, far to the north, beyond the spine of the world, in Icewind Dale. The Dale is an Arctic tundra in the frozen far region known for being the northernmost explored region in all of Faerun. It earned its name from the harsh winds and icy storms that destroyed buildings and scoured the landscape. Icewind Dale is a harsh, near inhospitable land that regularly plunges below freezing temperatures and receives little sunlight, particularly during the severe winter months. It is home to only the most hardened of frontiersmen, pioneers, and barbarians. Beyond the sporadic dots of civilization dwell terrifying beasts and deadly monsters. Of late, Icewind Dale has become trapped in perpetual winter. Ferocious blizzards make the mountain pass through the spine of the world exceedingly treacherous, and this land has not felt the warmth of the sun in over 2 years. In fact, the sun no longer appears over the mountains, not even in what should be the height of summer. In this frozen tundra, darkness and bitter cold reign as king and queen. Most Dale residents blame Auril, the Frostmaiden, the god of winter's wrath. The shimmering aurora that weaves across the sky each night is said to be her doing, a potent spell that keeps the sun at bay. Dale folk live in a scattering of settlements known as 10 towns, formed around the 3 lakes of Icewind Dale: Redwaters, Lake Dinishare, and Mare Dwalden. Situated northwest of Redwaters, the smallest of the lakes, were fittingly enough the smallest villages, Dugan's Hole and Goodmead. A ways north is Lake Dinishare, upon the shores of which sit the settlements of Easthaven, Cardinival, and Caer Konig. Some 10 miles west is the largest and deepest of the lakes, Mare Dwalden, around which are situated the towns of Lonelywood, Bremen, Tourmaline, and the walled city of Targos. Between Lac Dinishare and Mare Dwalden is the massive solitary peak of Kelvin's Cairn. Southwest of the valley, nestled between all 3 lakes, is the trading hub of Bryn Shander, the gateway city that leads to the rest of civilization to the south. The drop-off in both the caravans coming from the south and travel between settlements in this never-ending winter has left everyone feeling isolated. Although each town has resolved to appease the Frostmaiden with sacrifices of one kind or another, no respite from winter's fury seems forthcoming. For adventurers, 10 Towns is a place to test one's mettle, and in the spirit of heroes who have come before, leave one's mark on this frigid, blighted land. And so, our story begins about 10 miles southwest of Bryn Shander, along an open stretch of the snow-packed road known as the Ten Trail that connects 10 Towns with the rest of the world to the south. Most of this ragtag band have only recently come to the Dale, each for their own reasons, and now they trudge northeast, escorting one Pavel Bursk, a merchant transporting supplies by dog sled to Renderil, proprietor of Renderil's Emporium in Bryn Shander. Though they have each secured lodging at the Northlook Inn, most have met but hours ago at the start of their escort task. A blizzard rages as night is falling and the adventurers push on, arrayed around their charge.
Excuse me, Mr. Einar, are you sure you know the way?
Pavel inquires, nervously looking around in the snowstorm. Yeah, I know the way, Bursk. You just sit there and relax. Just a couple more hours to Bryn Shander, says Einar, son of Ulra, a tiefling of dark blue complexion, as he leads the way, snowshoeing next to the dog team, his cloak billowing in the wind, untroubled by the cold. Of late, he has spent his time sailing and working as a deckhand on a variety of ships, dealing with pirates, thieves, and those of their ilk, He can handle himself, and his icy stare is meant to keep others away for their own good. But this snowy path, Einar has walked before, and he pushes forward confidently, anticipating a cold ale at the Northlook Inn, and a chance to catch up with his old friend and recent arrival to the Dale, Prospero Portaljumper. Riding in bundled comfort and relative ease atop the sled's cargo, outsized by his other companions, sits an amiable gnome. Prospero has lived a full life and built an inn, Jumper's Fate, which he has operated for over the past 100 years. But now, with his wife having passed away, he has left the inn in the care of a trusted employee, and now follows the new passion that fills his heart, the arcane. Prospero has developed a great interest in magic and has proven to be skilled despite the late start in life, given he is now 327 years old. It's time to see the world and seek out new adventures, and first on the list was to visit his friend Einar and catch up over a pint, but perhaps a warm mulled wine, as this gone forsaken cold is a new experience indeed. On the other side of the dogs, and likewise at ease in the icy storm, and plowing through the drifts strides Malumadum, a hulking, shaggy loxodon with massive rune-inscribed tusks. After crossing over the spine of the world, he was enthralled by the beauty of Icewind Dale, bordered by the mountains, the Reghead Glacier, and the sea of moving ice. Malumadum saw the unending winter and could feel the blight affecting it, and now hopes to play a role in restoring the natural order of this area. The mammoth being now scans the western side of the group, eyes fighting to pierce the blanket of blistering snow. Marching next to the merchant driving the sled, keeping a close watch over the man with the coin, is Dregs. His face deeply hooded, his manners silent if not sullen. As he scans east of the group, an occasional glint of his metal mask can be seen beneath his hood. His latest bounty brought him north, Vargas Breck, a child killer on the run. Like the others, Vargas chose his ego over life, and now there's one less predator in the world. While Dregs still breathes, no harm will come to Pavel, as no threat can come to his prophet. And bringing up the rear, his powerful frame still discernible beneath his winter furs, strides Krusk the half-orc, brutal war pick upon his shoulder. As Krusk keeps a watch on what may trail the group, the thought of the comfortable inn would be a nice change to this frigid wasteland, but not as comforting as the warmth that comes from within, as adrenaline washes over, the threat of death, the thrill of combat, and victory. He has come to the Dale, as many others do, to escape his past, the loss of a loved one still haunting his dreams and his waking life. The sled stops. Krusk can see Einar up ahead, arm out, fist up, the signal to stop and be still. Krusk sprints forward.
What is it? What do you see?
Quiet, Einar snaps as he peers into the swirling snow and darkness. The crunching of snow can be heard ahead. More to the east, not 30 feet away. And the west. Dregs scans around sharply, his raspy voice piercing the wind despite whispering.
I see many around us. Many.
He cuts himself off as a flame erupts from the hand of Malumadum, illuminating the area, and Dregs shifts backwards away from the radius of the light.
Deer!
Einar shouts, as the sound of scores of hooves pounding the snow approaches. Dozens of reindeer with strange glowing antlers streak out from the darkness toward the group. Einar moves forward, waving his hands and yelling, "Yeah, go on! Get out of here!" Prospero leaps to his feet, moving his arms in precise motions and uttering arcane words as fireworks begin shooting out of his hands into the air above the group, flashes of colors erupting in small explosions. Malumadum lumbers forward, arms raised, his magical flame now passed to his trunk, high in the air, as he waves his hands.
Move along. We won't hurt you now. Move along.
Dregs and Krusk close ranks around the merchant, keeping an eye for any threat to their benefactor. Dregs holding the dog harness steady with one hand, while pointing the other fist, arm extended, straight out towards the deer. Frost gripping his heavy war pick in both hands, ready to drive it into the first threat that approaches. The herd breaks around Einar and Illumindoom as they avert their eyes from the explosions of light in the sky. The deer pass as quickly as they appeared, their glowing antlers and the sound of their hooves in the snow is swallowed by the raging blizzard and is gone. Einar waves the group forward and lets out a whistle, spurring the dogs ahead. Prospero turns enthusiastically to Pavel Bursk, who is still shaking with fear, as he yells over the wind while holding his hood. "You don't see that every day, do you, Mr. Bursk?" But Mr. Bursk's eyes are firmly shut. He did not see it this day either. After 2 more hours of a tough slog through the biting cold and stinging snow, the torchlights atop the walls of Bryn Shander are a truly welcome sight. It is a punishing end to the journey, however, a grueling climb up the long incline that leads to the elevated hilltop settlement.